of New York's top infectious disease doctors is Dr. Rajeev Fernando, and every Thursday we have him on the show. He joins me and answers some of your questions about the COVID-19 crisis. And Dr. Fernando is with us right now on the phone this morning. And, hey, thanks for joining me today.
I'm very happy to be in the show. It's a great pleasure and honor to serve the community and give them the best information that's possible.
All right, we got some good questions for you this week, Dr. Rajeev. All right, Dave in New Milford sent me an email. He says, as of this past Monday, everyone in Connecticut, as of course everyone in New York, has to wear masks when we're out. Do these masks really help?
So, in my opinion, I think they do help. There's a lot of data initially that the CDC put out saying it doesn't help, but just for the simple reason that I think it's some sort of a barrier, and that's what makes me think it will work. Of course, when you're coughing out these large respiratory droplets, the jury's still out there to see how much this particular virus, how many feet it could actually spread. Now, for influenza, of course, it's well studied. We know it's about 6 feet, for which we use masks while in the hospital. This one, a coronavirus is something novel, and we just don't have enough information. So abroad, where they've had similar coronavirus outbreaks, everyone is wearing a mask. I can't say conclusively these masks work, but I certainly don't, in this climate and this situation that we're in, I certainly think it's a good idea to use these masks at this point.
Yeah, I never thought I'd walk into a bank wearing a mask, but I've had to do it. It's kind of weird. All right, let's go to this question, and I need your honest opinion here and your professional opinion. And this comes to us from a bunch of people. Donna in Dover Plains, Jill in Danbury, Kate in Ridgefield, all had questions about opening up too soon. Do you think we're jumping the gun here?
I think we are. But let me just say that, it's important to understand the situations people are in. Now, it's easy for me to say, well, just keep it closed, for another month or 6 weeks or whatever. I'm getting a check every week. I get paid by my hospital. It's a steady check. But think of it the other side of the story. A lot of people are not going to work. In New York City, we're seeing big problems where people can't pay their rent. It's accumulating. They need to get out there and work, and it's a challenging situation. So I understand some people, they're concerned with saying, get me out of here, I need to work. I perfectly understand that, and I think the government, I'm with the government and to say, just stay indoors. Also, to put this in perspective, I think the United States has not really enforced this lockdown well enough. Now, when we talk about lockdown in India, for example, the whole country is literally locked down. No one's outside. As a matter of fact, in India, if someone's seen reversing the car out into the street, they'll arrest you. It's as simple as that. So That's a lockdown. Now, what do we see in New York? I was just, driving back from Queens to, Long Island. There's so many cars. I felt it was back to normal. So, the distancing, the social distancing, the lockdowns are not the lockdowns what we're seeing in other countries. Yes, granted, we have flattened the curve, but I think we could definitely be doing better. So the harder and the tougher we get on actually locking down people staying at home, social distancing, that's the only way we're going to get out of this outbreak. So it's unfortunate. I hope the government does something to help these people who are not working and they're out of money and pay rent and food. A lot of people depend on going to work every day to put food on the table. So I think while governments or governors from across the states suggest to stay home, they should be doing something to help their people as well.
Now, are you concerned that if they do open things up too soon, there are certain states that are opening up like bowling alleys and things like that. Are you concerned that even around here, if they do it too soon, we're going to see another wave?
Oh, without a doubt. This is just not the time. This definitely isn't the time to reopen. New York we're just coming out of a jam. People unfortunately think that, once the governor said, the worst is over, people just assume that we're back to normal, but not at all. There's still a lot that we need to monitor very closely and, take things very seriously. So this is not the time to let our guard down. We're doing well. We still need to keep our foot on the gas right now.
Okay, and finally here, now the CDC announced just this week that they're worried about a second wave. And Kevin in New Fairfield used the chat feature on our mobile app to ask you, what's the chance of this virus coming back with a second wave in the fall?
So that's certainly a possibility. It depends on whether we social distance appropriately, whether we stay at home, whether the virus mutates, whether the virus comes back, whether it remains in our system after infection, reactivates. There's so many possibilities why this can actually happen. But what I think we should be doing, remember, these are hypotheses. It's impossible for anyone in this day and age to say conclusively on April 22nd there will be a second wave. I'm going to politely and respectfully go against that if that's what the CDC said. I mean, there's definitely a possibility. But to conclusively say there is a second wave, I'm not interested in that answer. There definitely is a possibility, and we as citizens, we need to do our bit so that we keep that second wave away.
I guess if you knew that answer, you'd be in Vegas as soon as it reopens and putting bets down because you'd make a fortune.
That sounds like a reasonable approach. Yeah, I'd definitely consider that.
Well, as always, a wealth of information. I do appreciate it, and we do appreciate your work on the front lines, Dr. Rajeev. And you stay safe, keep washing your hands, and wear that mask if you have to, too.
Absolutely. Stay safe, Connecticut.